On planet Earth, the atmosphere was full of joy and happiness as the family and friends gathered to celebrate Trunks' birthday, who had just turned 14 years old. The tables were full of delicious food. Laughter resounded among the present, and Trunks was in the center of everyone, happy for his special celebration, surrounded by gifts and voices of joy. On the other side, Goku and Vegeta were far from this environment, immersed in their intense training. After years since the Tournament of Strength, both felt a growing desire to improve their skills and raise their power to new levels. The sounds of their screams filled the place, with each blow and each movement feeling a new progress, as if they were approaching their goals. Suddenly, without prior notice, something unexpected happened. The darkness enveloped the area, and the sky began to tremble, opening in a strange way. A bright and powerful light appeared crossing the sky with a glow never seen before. Goku and Vegeta stopped their training and turned towards the sky with their eyes wide open. The intruder that appeared in that majestic scene brought with it a feeling of danger, and both felt that this was not a natural event. Vegeta cautiously said, "What is that light? This is not normal." Goku, who was watching the scene in amazement, replied, "I feel something. A strange energy. We must be prepared." The light continued to increase in intensity, as if it were drawing something from another world that was coming to bring a challenge like never before. As the light continued to shine, the silhouettes of the intruders became clearer, and it became clear that they were two Sinnoh guards. Goku and Vegeta were in a state of shock and amazement, as it was the first time they saw the guards on planet Earth. One of the guards approached them with firm steps and said in a serious tone, "The great priest has sent us. You, Goku and Vegeta, are invited to a great event." Goku, with eyes full of amazement and caution, asked, "What is happening? Why have they summoned us in this way?" The guard responded firmly, "It is not something simple. The priest and all the kings and superior entities have gathered for a very important reason, and it cannot be explained here." Goku felt confused and nervous since he had never seen the guards appear in this way. In addition, the idea of being summoned by the great priest increased his concern. There was no time to inform the family of what was happening, so Goku and Vegeta decided to follow the guards immediately, despite the uncertainty of the moment. Goku and Vegeta arrived at the royal palace. In the middle of this majestic scene, strange rituals were performed, with unknown signs, symbols, and faint sounds that resonated in the air. Goku and Vegeta had no idea what was happening. Goku went ahead. With some doubt, he asked, "What is happening here? What are these rituals?" All eyes were focused on them, but no one was ready to speak yet, leaving the question floating in their minds. The priest approached Goku and Vegeta with firm steps, while the silence filled the place. With a calm and full of sadness smile, he said, "Welcome, Goku and Vegeta. Today they are here to witness a very special event. It is not a simple meeting, but a reminder of the death of my father, the grandfather of the angels. We celebrate this anniversary every 100 terrestrial years, which is equivalent to one single year for us, the kings." Goku and Vegeta looked surprised, then turned their attention to the priest. This continued with a voice full of emotions. "Our grandfather died 1,000,000 terrestrial years ago, and his loss was devastating for us. Since then, we have performed these rituals to honor his soul and maintain the balance of the worlds. Today represents the culmination of 100 complete cycles since his departure, which makes this anniversary different from any other. These rituals not only represent our respect for the grandfather, but also contribute to protecting the balance between the universes. On this day, we all gather to remember his sacrifices and his role in the creation of the order in which we live." Goku, who had never heard of something like this before, felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of the responsibility and holiness that this commemoration carried with it. Vegeta, who had always shown interest in history and the kings, took a deep breath and reflected, "If this anniversary is so important, there must be a danger in the future if it is not carried out correctly." The priest smiled with satisfaction and said, "You are right, Vegeta. That is why we have gathered all the kings and superior entities here today. The event is not just a celebration, but part of a greater balance that guarantees the continuity of the cosmic order. Goku felt the seriousness of the matter and his curiosity about the impact of these rituals on the universes, as well as the reason for their presence, increased. The priest took a deep breath while looking at Goku and Vegeta, and then said, "Yes, the reason why I have summoned you is because you have contributed enormously to the restoration of the universes after winning the tournament. Your sacrifices and your decisive role have had a great impact on the restoration of the balance between the worlds. Now we ask you for your contribution once again, but this time in our way." Goku, who was still confused by all these rituals, asked, "How can we contribute?" The priest responded with a smile. "Each supreme entity contributes with their pure blessing to the coffin where our father rests. These blessings represent respect and veneration for his soul and help purify the spirit, which in turn maintains the cosmic balance. We believe that your contribution, given its great importance in the universes, will have a significant impact on this ritual." Vegeta turned his head and asked seriously, "Where is this coffin?" The priest responded with a calm voice, "The coffin is kept in a very special room, a room where time does not pass. It is a place where time stops completely, which means that anyone who enters that room remains in a state of temporal suspension. This is what makes that room unique. It allows us to handle matters that cannot be resolved in the framework of ordinary time." The words of the priest even awakened Vegeta's curiosity, who asked seriously, "And how does this room work? What happens inside it?" The priest replied, "Once you enter it, all signs of time stop for you. You could spend years training or reflecting inside it without a single moment passing in the outside world. This room is used only for very special purposes, such as preserving the souls of the kings and venerating them like we do today." Goku got even more excited when he heard the words of the priest and asked enthusiastically, "Can we use that room to train? Vegeta and I were training on Earth, but this place sounds incredible. I would like to try that room and see how it could affect our training." The priest smiled, saying, "This is the main reason why we have summoned you here. After the contribution you made to the universes, I want to reward you by giving you the opportunity to spend time inside that special room. It is not an ordinary room. It can be a means to increase your power immensely without time passing in the outside world." However, the priest added with a serious tone, "But there is a very important condition that they must fulfill. Under no circumstances should they approach the coffin that is inside the room or touch anything related to the rituals there. These things are extremely sacred and cannot be altered. They will be given a specific time to train inside the room, and when the time is up, they will leave automatically." Vegeta looked at the priest with curiosity and said, "How much time will you give us?" The priest responded with concentration, "I will give you 48 hours inside the room. That is equivalent to many years of training inside, enough time for them to develop their skills enormously." Goku, who could barely hide his enthusiasm, prepared for the next challenge, although inside he was left with the doubt of what they would discover in that mysterious room. After Goku finished sending the power of blessing that everyone had contributed to the coffin, he and Vegeta decided to enter the special room. Upon entering, they found themselves in a strange and unknown place where everything was motionless and time completely stopped. The walls shone with faint colors, and the air was full of unusual energy. Goku, looking around with amazement, said, "This place is completely different from anything we have trained in before. Do you feel it, Vegeta?" Vegeta, who was trying to focus on the main purpose of his presence there, responded coldly, "This is not the time for curiosity. We are here to train. Let's take advantage of this time and focus on developing our power." Despite Goku's enthusiasm for exploring, he remembered the priest's warning. Both began their intensive training, focused on strengthening their bodies and perfecting their skills. The training continued for long hours without them feeling the passage of time. With each blow and each movement, their power doubled, but the exhaustion began to take over them. Outside, the guards were worried, and one of them murmured in a low voice, "Was it wise for the priest to reward Goku in this way?" But the priest, who followed the situation closely, reassured them by saying, "There is no need to worry. The coffin is protected by ancient powers and cannot be approached. Goku and Vegeta will not pose any threat." Despite that, after many hours of continuous training, Goku began to feel exhausted. He sat on the floor to catch his breath and said to Vegeta, "Vegeta, have you ever felt this kind of curiosity for the coffin? It is here in front of us, and its energy is immense." "It's not like that." Vegeta looked at Goku seriously, warning him, "Don't let your curiosity dominate you. They warned us not to get close. We are here to get stronger, not to get involved in things we don't understand." But curiosity began to slowly invade Goku's mind, as if something in the room propelled him to explore, not knowing that things could take a dangerous turn soon. Goku, consumed by curiosity, began to hear strange whispers coming from the coffin. He approached slowly, despite Vegeta's warnings, as if something inside was calling him. Vegeta shouted harshly, "Kakaroto, stop right now! This is crazy!" But Goku, who had already succumbed to his powerful curiosity, continued to advance towards the coffin. When he reached a close distance, the lid began to move slightly, as if responding to an invisible force. Suddenly, an inner voice was heard, weak but clear, as if someone trapped inside was asking for help. Goku took one more step, feeling a strange energy that attracted his soul to the coffin. Vegeta tried to intervene urgently, saying, "They warned us, don't get any closer." But it was too late. The lid of the coffin suddenly moved and began to emit a very bright light. The gravity was so strong that they couldn't even use their power to escape. In a few moments, they were absorbed inside the coffin, and there was no trace of them. The place returned to its usual calm, as if nothing had happened. Outside, in the palace, suddenly those present felt a strange change in the energy, but they did not know exactly what had happened inside the room. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta had completely disappeared, leaving a mysterious void and a potential catastrophe waiting to untie. While Goku and Vegeta lay on the ground after being swallowed by the coffin, they slowly regained consciousness and found themselves in an unknown and quiet place. Goku looked around, asking himself out loud, "Where are we? What just happened? This is not the place we were in. Something very strange is happening here." As they tried to assimilate the situation, they heard a strange voice, soft but full of authority, saying, "Finally, after all this time, I have been released from the coffin." They turned around, surprised, to find a person who looked like a mummy. His face was terrifying and emanated a powerful aura. Goku asked, "Who are you, and how did we get out of here?" The old man replied, "I am the person you were looking for. I am the grandfather of the angels. A long time ago, I was locked up here in this coffin. Now you are the first to see me after all these years." Vegeta, surprised, said, "The grandfather of the angels? How can you be alive after so long?" The grandfather smiled calmly and added, "In this place, time does not have the same meaning that you know. I have been here for ages, observing everything, waiting for someone to arrive and be able to release my truth." Goku asked, "But why are we here? What happened?" The old man replied in a serious tone, "Your curiosity attracted them here, but it was not by chance. It was destined to meet me. There are many things you don't know about the universes and what happened in the past. You are part of a much bigger plan than you imagine." Vegeta asked, "A plan? What do you mean by that?" The grandfather replied calmly, "I am not only the grandfather of the angels, but I was the first to establish the system of the universes before Sinnoh dominated everything. There are secrets buried in this coffin, a very old power that the kings contributed every year in this commemoration." Goku and Vegeta began to feel immense pressure for the amount of information they were receiving. Goku said, "But what do we have to do with this? We are just fighters who seek power." The old man replied, "You are more than just fighters. You are the key to restoring the balance between the universes and the ancient powers. But first, they must know something. Now they are in a completely different world, where time stops." After finishing his first speech, the old man turned slowly and continued to speak in an enigmatic tone. "I have not regained all my power yet. The truth is that the power that the kings offered every 100 years in this commemoration was not only in my honor. The priest used it thinking he was spying on his mistakes. This is because he is the reason for my death." Goku and Vegeta, shocked, could not believe what they heard. Vegeta asked, "What? Did the priest kill you? Why?" The grandfather replied, "His ambition was absolute power. A long time ago, the priest wanted to govern the universes for himself. He saw that his father, that is me, was an obstacle in his path, so he conspired against me. He used his power and knowledge of the universe to kill me, but he could not completely destroy my soul. That is why he created this coffin to imprison me inside and present himself before everyone as an innocent who cried for his father. And during all these eras, he has shown himself as the guardian of the universes." Goku, surprised, said, "But why did he leave you alive if he wanted to control everything?" The grandfather replied calmly, "Because he needed my power to maintain balance in the universes. Without my soul, the balance between the universes and the angels would have collapsed. So he continued to pretend to be innocent and organize the commemoration every 100 years to collect the power of all the kings and use it to maintain their balance and continuity." Goku asked, "But what does that have to do with us?" The grandfather replied, "You are the key to freeing this ancient power. The priest made a mistake by allowing them to approach the coffin. His power, and especially his curiosity, were the spark he needed to open a window of liberation. You have an energy that had never been seen before, and that allowed me to attract you and take you to this world." Vegeta, excited and angry, said, "Then the priest has been deceiving everyone all this time?" The grandfather, with a calm and firm tone, replied, "Yes. But now there is an opportunity to change everything. You are now in the heart of the secret. You have the power to take revenge and restore true balance." Goku asked, "But how? How can we help?" The grandfather replied, "There are transformations and powers that have not yet been discovered. These secrets have been hidden from you, even from the priest. I am the only one who has the keys to this power. If they manage to free him, they will be able to face the priest and take away his right. But there is a risk. The power they will release may cause them to lose control of themselves." Vegeta, determined, said, "I will not allow that to happen. I will control any power I get. But what about revenge? How can we defeat the priest?" The grandfather replied, "It is stronger than anything you have seen before, but you must be careful. The priest is not alone. There are other hidden forces that will try to stop them. Revenge will not be easy, but if they succeed, they will restore balance and open a new era for the universes." Goku and Vegeta prepared for the challenge that awaited them, while the grandfather took a step back and gave them a deep look. The grandfather said with a calm but firm voice, "Before giving them the power they need, they must show their ability to control it. Now they will face me. Although my power is not complete, it is more than enough to put them to the test." Goku, with an excited tone, said, "I have been waiting for this. I will not let this opportunity escape me." Vegeta, with a defiant smile, said, "Finally, an opponent that is worth it. I will not have mercy." The battle suddenly began, when the grandfather threw himself at Goku and Vegeta at an amazing speed and hit them with quick and powerful punches. Although Goku and Vegeta were in their best shape, they felt the weight of the immense strength of the grandfather. Goku, moaning in pain after receiving a direct blow, said, "My God, it's faster and stronger than I expected." Vegeta, angry after receiving a strong kick, said, "Even without being complete, his power is enough to torture us." The fight continued for hours, and the grandfather pressed them with force without giving them any chance to breathe. After a long time, the grandfather stopped for a moment and said, "They have shown their worth, but this is not all. There is a transformation called the Great Rumble, a form that combines his power with that of the coffin. This power is not only the fusion of their energies, but a transition to a completely new level where their souls merge with the forces of the coffin." Goku, still moaning, asked, "A new transformation? And how do we get it?" The grandfather seriously said, "I will grant you this power, but there is a dangerous condition. This transformation requires a sacrifice. To obtain the power of Rimbo, you must sacrifice a part of yourselves. That sacrifice will affect your powers, and you could be unable to regain your former power if you fail to control this new force." Vegeta firmly said, "I do not care about the risks. If this is what we need to defeat the priest, I will accept any sacrifice." Goku said, "But what happens if we lose control?" The grandfather, determined, said, "If they lose control, they will become monsters that no one can stop, and they will destroy everything in their path, including themselves." Goku and Vegeta exchanged looks. They knew that this was the biggest challenge they faced, but they were willing to risk it all. Goku said with determination, "Okay, I'm ready. I will accept this challenge." Vegeta responded firmly, "And so did I. I will not let anything stop me now." The old man approached them, and raising his hands to the sky, he said, "Then let's get started. Get ready to bear the weight of the power of Rimbo." The old man laughed to himself, with a malicious smile on his face, knowing that he had achieved his goal. The power of Rimbo that Goku and Vegeta would receive would not only be an immense energy, but it would also take away all the emotions of compassion and mercy, exactly as he had planned. This was what the old man wanted, to use them to carry out his great revenge against the priest who had betrayed and murdered him. The old man said calmly, "After obtaining the power of Rimbo, they will no longer be the same. This power will grant them unlimited skills, but it will also eliminate any emotion that can stop them in the search of justice." Goku, curious, asked, "And what is the benefit of that?" The old man replied with an enigmatic smile, "Emotions can blind hearts, but now you will not have a heart. Their power will merge with the energy of the coffin, and they will help me recover my body and all my power. In return, I will send them abroad to finish what we started and execute justice against the traitorous priest." Vegeta accepted without hesitation and said, "If that power is what we need to defeat the priest, I don't care about anything else." The old man raised his hands to the sky and began to channel the energy of the coffin towards Goku and Vegeta. Both felt an immense energy flow within them, a completely new force superior to everything they had experienced before. The power of Rimbo merged their energies with the ancient force of the coffin. The old man whispered, "Now that they have what they need, I will stay here to recover my body and my complete form. Thanks to their power, I will finally be able to get out and take revenge on the priest." In the next moment, Goku and Vegeta were expelled from the coffin. They appeared in the outside world, but their appearances had changed. Their eyes shone with a coldness devoid of emotions. They no longer had compassion or doubts, and their only goal now was to kill the traitorous priest. Goku said with unusual calm, "We have to finish this now." Vegeta responded with the same coldness, "Nobody will stop us. The priest will die today." On the outside, the priest felt a tremor in his being when he perceived the exit of Goku and Vegeta from the coffin. The power they emanated was terrifying, and fear began to take over his heart despite his efforts to hide it. As the being who had to maintain control and serenity before everyone, the priest knew that any sign of weakness could reveal his truth before the kings and other angels, especially his involvement in the death of his own father. The priest thought to himself, "If they discover the truth, if they find out that I was the one who killed my father, it will be my end." He did not have many options. Goku and Vegeta had returned with a power that he could not face directly, so he quickly devised a plan to divert his attention and slow down his fury. He knew he needed someone strong enough to help him execute his plan, and there was no one better than Vados. The priest muttered with malice, "I must be cunning. I will make Vados part of this game." He immediately summoned Vados, who had always been loyal to him indirectly, knowing that he could count on her to execute a part of his plan. When he appeared in front of him, his face was as inexpressive as ever, but she felt that something unusual was happening. Vados asked, "What do you want, priest?" The priest responded in a calm tone that hid his inner nervousness. "Goku and Vegeta have returned, but they are not the same as before. The power they have now is unpredictable, and I fear they are coming in search of revenge." Vados showed a slight surprise. "And are you involved in something that justifies his revenge?" The priest, nervous, tried to dodge the subject. "That is not important now. The important thing is to calm them down before they cause chaos among the kings. I want you to distract them, divert their attention from me while I think about how to handle this situation." Then Vados quickly headed to the place where Goku and Vegeta were. He knew that his task would not be easy, especially with the overwhelming power they now possessed, but the priest deposited his last hopes in his ability to delay them. The more the confrontation was delayed, the greater the priest's chances of finding a way to escape his revenge, and that the terrible truth he was hiding would not be discovered. After the priest realized that he could not catch Goku and Vegeta in the room due to the power of Rimbo that they had acquired, they finally left the world of the coffin and headed directly to the priest. His steps were firm, and his eyes were full of anger that they could no longer control. Upon arriving at the palace, they met Vados, who was waiting for them in the corridor, not knowing the complete story. Vados said in a calm tone, trying to hide his concern, "Wait, there is something dangerous that you must know before continuing. Things are not as they seem." Goku, with some doubt, asked, "What do you mean?" Vados replied cautiously, "I do not know his intentions. If they attack the priest now, They could open a door that cannot be closed and cause the destruction of the entire universe. But Vegeta was not willing to believe him so easily. Clearly, the transformation he had experienced had taken away all compassion and empathy. He looked at Vados with cold eyes and said with severity, "I do not care what door you talk about. There is no room for tricks anymore." At that moment, Vados tried to use his power to stop them, but Vegeta was faster. He gave him such a strong blow that he made her retreat, falling to the ground in amazement. The blow was devastating, and I did not expect Vegeta to use that level of strength against her. Meanwhile, the priest observed everything from Sinnoh Palace. His eyes were filled with amazement and fear when he saw how Vados fell before Vegeta. His lips trembled, and he could not hide the fear he felt. Sinnoh asked innocently, "Why do you look like this? Has something bad happened?" The priest, trying to regain his composure, responded with a trembling voice, "No, nothing bad has happened. Everything is under control. We just have to wait and see." Afterwards, the earth began to tremble violently. Everyone was in shock. No one expected such a gigantic explosion of power to occur. Not even Sinnoh himself could ignore that immense force. Everything in existence was shaking under the impact of this colossal spiritual earthquake, and everyone understood that something big was about to happen. Suddenly, Goku appeared in front of the priest. His eyes shone with cold anger, and the immense force of the Rimbo enveloped his body. The priest felt a deep fear that flowed into his heart, since he knew that if Goku revealed his truth to Sinnoh, his end would be inevitable. Sinnoh, with a naive tone and beginning to suspect what was happening, asked, "Goku, why are you here? What's going on?" Goku replied calmly and coldly, "I have come to take my revenge against the priest. It's time for the trial." Sinnoh was surprised by those harsh words, and his emotions began to mix between doubt and fear. He turned to the priest, who quickly understood that he had to act quickly. He had no choice but to resort to his usual cunning, trying to influence Sinnoh with his deception and manipulation techniques. The priest said quickly, trying to calm the situation, "Zeno-sama, don't listen to Goku. He's trying to unleash chaos in the universes. He's fallen under the control of a dark force, and we must stop him before he destroys everything." The priest's words were full of malice and cunning, and he managed to temporarily influence Sinnoh, who began to feel that Goku was the culprit in this situation. Sinnoh looked at Goku with anger and said, "Is this true, Goku? Have you come here to destroy the universes?" At that moment, Vegeta, who had been observing the situation in silence, took a step forward and said firmly, "No, the priest is the traitor. He has been lying to you all this time. He killed his father, and now he is trying to control everything." But Goku, who felt a growing anger within him, turned to Vegeta and said angrily, "Vegeta, go back. I am too angry now, and if Sinnoh doesn't believe what I say, I will unleash my fury and I will destroy everything here." Those words were a serious warning. Sinnoh felt something strange buzzing in the air, and he began to realize that Goku's power had become uncontrollable. Goku was on the verge of exploding, and there was nothing that could calm him if Sinnoh didn't believe in the truth. Sinnoh was confused between the priest, who claimed to be innocent, and Goku, who threatened to destroy everything. At that critical moment, the priest tried to use his last card.
With a look full of malice, he used his magical power to show Sinnoh a real scene of Vados falling violently because of them. Sinnoh was shocked by what he saw. He began to believe that Goku had fallen under a dark force and that now he represented a great danger to the universes. Sinnoh said with concern as he looked at the priest, "Is this true? Goku has really lost control of himself?" The priest replied with a false confidence, "Yes, Zeno-sama, an evil force has corrupted him, and if we do not stop him now, he will destroy everything." At that moment, Goku was no longer interested in convincing Sinnoh or anyone else. His eyes burned with anger, and the only objective he saw in front of him was to destroy the priest. Everything had mixed in his mind, but he was sure that the priest had to be erased. Sinnoh slowly raised his hands, pointing his gaze at Goku. Sinnoh's intentions were clear. He would definitely eliminate Goku if he did not stop. "If you don't stop, Goku, I'll erase you here and now." But Goku showed no fear or doubt. His new power, which he had obtained from the priest's father, the power of the rainbow, ran through his veins, making him feel invincible. When Sinnoh raised his hands to erase it, nothing happened. No part of the universe moved, and Goku stood as if nothing. Sinnoh, surprised, exclaimed, "What? Why has nothing happened?" The priest, internally terrified and trying to understand what was happening, said, "No, this is impossible." Everyone realized at that moment that the power of the rainbow that Goku had obtained from the priest's father had made him immune to Sinnoh's ability to erase it. That ancient and terrifying power had impregnated Goku in such a way that even Sinnoh could not control it. Goku looked at Sinnoh with a cold smile and said, "Your power has no effect on me anymore. Now I will destroy the priest, and no one will be able to stop me." At that moment, Vegeta took some firm steps towards Sinnoh and said, "You are a fool. I will destroy everything right now." But before he could attack, Goku, exhausted, pushed him away with force, saying, "Go back. This revenge is only mine." Goku was burning with rage and no longer cared what happened around him. He just wanted to finish off the priest. Goku raised his hand to the sky and shouted with all his strength, releasing his immense power. Suddenly, the color of his energy changed to only one of the colors of the rainbow, which represented the partial power of the rainbow. He was not yet ready to use all the colors at the same time, since, as his grandfather Angel had advised him, he had to master each color separately. The earth began to tremble in a terrifying way, and the sky shone with colors as Goku approached more and more to destroy the priest. Goku threw himself at the priest with all his strength, launching a burst of consecutive blows. In a matter of minutes, the priest was shaking, receiving the blows without being able to resist. Everyone was trembling, unable to believe what was happening, especially the children of the priest who still did not know the truth about his father's betrayal. But Goku did not care to convince them. His only goal was to end the priest in any way. Goku fell to the ground moaning, feeling a great weight on him, while Sinnoh was unable to erase Goku with his power. Sinnoh said with anger, "Guardian, stop Goku immediately! He has given in to his rebellion!" The Guardians ran towards Goku, but Goku, with eyes full of anger and power, did not wait. He raised his hand and threw a massive energy at them, easily crossing their bodies, and they fell to the ground without being able to defend themselves. Goku said coldly, addressing Sinnoh, "I told you, this revenge is mine. No one will be able to stop me." Vegeta replied from behind, "Goku, you are an idiot. We must prove the truth before destroying everything." But Goku turned his head towards him and said, "I have gone back enough. This priest will not escape his punishment." After receiving numerous brutal blows from Goku, the priest felt completely powerless. He could no longer face his new power. In a moment of desperation, he remembered the great ring that he had hidden in the secret room of his palace. He immediately decided to send an urgent message to his daughter Margarita, asking for help. The priest said in his message to Margarita, "My daughter, bring the ring hidden in the room. I am in danger and I cannot leave. Hurry up!" Margarita was not aware of her father's betrayal and did not know the truth. Therefore, he fulfilled his request without hesitation and went to the secret room where the ring was stored. After bringing the ring, she gave it to the priest. Margarita said, "Here is the ring, father. You will save yourself now." The priest, with a trembling hand but full of hope, opened the box and put the ring on immediately. Goku, who was watching from afar, felt bewildered. Goku said curiously, "What is this? Why is the priest using a ring now? What is he up to?" The high priest, after putting on the ring, felt a strange flow of energy flowing through his body. This energy was different. It did not look like anything he had experienced before, and began to give him a new power that could change the course of things. The priest laughed maliciously, which led Vegeta to intervene, warning, "Go back, Kakaroto. The priest's intentions are suspicious. He is planning something dangerous that will alter the balance." But Goku did not pay much attention to Vegeta's warnings until he heard the priest's voice saying maliciously, "This ring is not just a jewel. It is an unlimited source of power. It will increase my strength and allow me to control everything I want in the universe and beyond." At that moment, Goku was shocked and stopped moving for a few moments, while the priest fled quickly, leaving Goku and Vegeta in a state of amazement. Goku wanted to go after him, but suddenly he felt an internal notification in his mind. It was that he was watching everything from inside the coffin. The grandfather of the angels said to Goku, "Listen to me, Goku. Do not chase the priest now. There are secrets behind that ring that you still cannot understand. It is not just a power tool. It is a key to something deeper and dangerous. I will reveal the complete truth about this ring, the priest's plans, and how they can stop him before he controls everything." The grandfather of the angels spoke to Goku seriously. "This ring that the priest wears is not just a power tool. It is mine, and it was sealed inside the secret room. The priest stole it from his father a long time ago. But don't worry, Goku. The task of removing it will be mine when I regain all my strength and my body. Meanwhile, you and Vegeta must be prepared to face all those who support the priest. After obtaining the ring, he will attempt to control everything, so you must be alert."
Goku responded with determination, aware that the next challenge would be the most difficult. But before he could move, suddenly he felt something strange. In a few moments, he and Vegeta discovered that they were surrounded by all the gods of destruction, including Abides. The gods had lost their will and were now under the control of the ring. Vegeta, in a sarcastic tone, shouted, saying, "The gods of destruction are now nothing more than pawns in this game." But Goku did not share Vegeta's sarcasm, as he felt the imminent danger. "Do not underestimate them, Vegeta. The ring has immense power, and if we do not evaluate the situation well, we will lose everything." The fierce battle between Goku, Vegeta, and the gods of destruction began. Enormous blows of energy filled the space, and each impact shook the universes. At those moments, Sinnoh watched from afar, unable to control his emotions. Sinnoh, who did not know whether to believe Goku or the priest, cried inconsolably, since the war against him was something he never imagined would happen. With a trembling voice, he said, "Is Goku really guilty, or has the priest deceived me all this time?" But Sinnoh was unable to make a decision, and his guardians, who tried to stop him, had been seriously injured. They had no choice but to wait and observe what would happen in the decisive battle. As the fight between Goku and Vegeta against the gods of destruction continued, the battlefield lit up with power. Each blow of Goku and Vegeta showed their superiority, as they clearly dominated the gods of destruction. Despite the immense strength of the gods, they were nothing more than tools in the hands of the priest and had completely lost their emotions. Thus, they fell one after another until none remained able to face the two warriors. Vegeta, watching the battlefield full of blood, said sarcastically, "Those pawns, they were nothing more than simple puppets. Is this really all that the priest has?" But Goku, despite his victory, did not feel calm. He said seriously, "This is not all. The priest is watching us from afar, and he will not stop here." In a distant place where the priest watched everything with eyes full of hatred, his anger lit up when he saw that all the gods of destruction had been defeated. He thought of his last plan, that plan that he had saved as his final letter, but he was afraid to use it.
Now he had no other option. He decided to use the same methodology that he applied to the gods of destruction, but this time in his children, the angels. The priest, with a malicious smile on his face, muttered to himself, "If the gods of destruction could not stop them, let them be my children. They are the strongest, and they will be the ones to defeat Goku and Vegeta." With those words, the priest began to activate his power over his children, preparing to turn them into puppets under his control, just as he did with the gods of destruction. While Goku and Vegeta believed that they had finally won and that their battle with the gods of destruction had ended, a strong shake occurred in existence, as if the universe itself was about to explode. Both looked confused, unable to believe that the situation had not yet ended. The earth began to tremble from its foundations, and the deep sound of the vibration filled the horizon. Goku, trying to understand what was happening, said with concern, "What is happening? What is this feeling?" Vegeta, looking around with sharp eyes, replied, "Something strange. It is as if the entire universe was on the verge of the explosion. This does not look good." But the truth was more terrifying than they expected. A huge and strange being began to appear in front of them. The creature was a mixture of all the power of the priest's children, who had merged into one body, each under the control of the priest. Now that creature represented a serious threat, with a single goal: Goku and Vegeta. Goku, seeing the creature form in front of him, spoke in amazement. "What is that? This is not an ordinary creature." Vegeta, winking an eye, said, "It is a mixture of everything. The priest's children, their combined power. This could be stronger than we expected." The creature, made up of several bodies, appeared completely, and it seemed the embodiment of a terrible and complex force. His eyes shone with an evil glow, and every step he took shook the earth under his feet. The priest, from his distant place, spoke through the creature. "Goku, Vegeta, do you think you have won? This is just the beginning. Now I will show you all my hatred. They are under my control, and I am the one who determines their destiny." Goku, raising his fist, said angrily, "We will not let you fulfill your wishes. Whatever you are planning, we will stop you." Vegeta, who was burning with rage seeing how Goku always overcame him in battles, looked at Goku with an intense expression and said with a furious voice, "You always get ahead of me. You always think I can do nothing alone. Now, let me show you what I can do on my own. Leave me this fight, Goku." Surprised by Vegeta's words, responded cautiously, "Vegeta, wait, this opponent is overwhelmingly powerful. You shouldn't." But Vegeta was not willing to listen and increased his power quickly. His energy aura shone intensely, something impossible to ignore. Without prior notice, he launched at an incredible speed towards the creature in front of him. Fighting with all his strength, Vegeta tried to defeat the creature alone, but he felt something strange. Suddenly, at one point in the battle, while attacking by surprise, Vegeta felt something strange. He did not notice at first how his enemy reacted to his attacks, but before he realized it, his body was suddenly pierced by a storm of dark energy emanating from the creature. The attack was so unexpected that Vegeta could not stop it in time. Vegeta fell to the ground, feeling intense pain. His eyes were blurred, and his heart was shaking from the gravity of the wound. Goku, who was about to react, suddenly felt something oppressive in his chest, but it was not a time to doubt. Goku, running towards Vegeta in an attempt to save him, said in a desperate voice, "Vegeta, no, it cannot be real." But Vegeta, looking at Goku with a mix of anger and sadness, said in a weak voice, "Goku, do not worry about me. Defeat that creature. This is our destiny."
The moment Vegeta fell, everyone felt a sudden change in the atmosphere. Goku stood in front of the creature, full of hatred in his heart, with his eyes shining with anger, while Vegeta lay on the ground. Fate became uncertain, and everyone was expecting it. The end was surprising, with Goku feeling that his power was growing within him and was about to take a new step. After Vegeta fell painfully to the ground, Goku's heart was filled with an immense fury.
He kept his eyes fixed on the huge creature formed by the fusion of the priest's children, with evil shining in his eyes. Goku remembered the instructions of the grandfather of the angels and how the path to achieve the definitive transformation of the rainbow required to master each transformation separately. Goku began to scream, and as his scream intensified, the existence around him trembled. Even the inhabitants of the Earth, which were millions of kilometers away, felt the earthquake caused by Goku's growing power. Suddenly, Goku appeared, achieving a new level of the transformation of the rainbow, but had not yet reached its definitive form. Meanwhile, the angelic fusion observed from a distance, laughing mockingly. With mockery, the angelic fusion said, "That's all you have, Goku? Do you really think this transformation will change something? You don't understand anything. We are superior to you in everything. You are just a child playing with fire." Goku did not pay attention to the mockery, disappearing from sight at an incredible speed, and in a blink of an eye, he appeared behind the angelic fusion, launching a series of attacks at lightning speed. The blows were so powerful and fast that the angelic creature could not stay up to date. The fight continued for a few minutes, but the creature did nothing but defend itself. Goku thought to himself, "Why does not he attack? What is he planning?" After several attempts, the angelic creature finally decided to attack. In an instant, it moved towards Goku at an incredible speed, achieving a single powerful blow that completely broke Goku's defense. Goku fell to the ground with tremendous strength, and his body began to vanish into dust before losing consciousness completely. The surprise was in everyone's eyes. With a laugh full of arrogance, the angelic fusion said, "Is that all you have? It seems that you still do not understand. We are completely under the control of the priest, and our combined power makes us invincible. I made you believe that we were weak until your own strength blinded you. That was what weakened you. Your game is over." Vegeta screamed at full blast, trying to wake up Goku, who had remained unconscious after the devastating blow. His eyes were full of fury and despair at the same time, knowing that Goku was the only hope left to save everyone from the evil of the angelic fusion. Vegeta said, "Wake up, Goku. You can't give up now. Everyone depends on you. Wake up." But Goku did not move, and Vegeta's voice vanished into thin air while the feeling of impotence began to take over him. At that moment, the angelic fusion slowly turned towards Vegeta, showing surprise that Vegeta was still alive despite the previous blows. With coldness, the angelic fusion said, "Are you still alive? What a nuisance. We are going to end you now." The angelic fusion raised its hands, preparing to assist the final blow to Vegeta, but suddenly they received a mental signal from the priest who controlled them. Through the mental connection, the priest said, "Stop. Do not bother with Vegeta or Goku now. They are weak and have no chance of facing us." The angelic fusion stopped, turning towards the sky and listening to the priest's instructions. The priest continued with his orders, saying, "There is a greater mission waiting for you. Go to planet Earth. Destroy everything related to Goku and Vegeta. Do not leave any trace of them or their families. Start destroying the cities and buildings. Do not allow anything to get in your way. After you finish destroying everything, you can destroy the planet completely." Those words were a death sentence for planet Earth. The angelic fusion began to prepare to execute the orders of the priest, releasing their wild auras as they headed towards the Earth. Vegeta shouted with rage at seeing the imminent catastrophe. "No, I will not allow it. I will stop you, whatever it costs." But the angelic fusion did not pay attention to him, since they coldly followed the orders of the priest, leaving behind Vegeta and Goku as they headed towards total destruction. There were only a few moments between the Earth and its destruction, and Vegeta knew that time was running out. All hope was put on Goku, but will he be able to regain consciousness in time to save the Earth and all those who live in it? After the angelic fusion was launched at full speed towards the Earth, they had already overtaken Vegeta by miles, leaving him in a state of impotence. The angelic fusion reached the planet and began to execute its destructive mission. They began to destroy buildings and cities, and they left nothing in their path without destroying. The inhabitants were in panic, and no one knew what was happening. Gohan screamed when he saw the massive destruction. "This cannot be happening. We have to stop them at all costs." Gohan took off with force, while Goten and some other fighters were on his side. They began to face the angelic fusion, but they were disconcerted. They had no idea of the nature of the enemy or the reason of their arrival. The fight was intense, but the enemy did not try to kill them at first. Coldly, the angelic fusion said while attacking them, "I am not going to kill them yet. I will make them want to die." The angelic fusion began to torture Gohan and Goten in a brutal way, as the priest had ordered, turning the fight into a living nightmare for the fighters. Every time they tried to counterattack, they were faced with overwhelming power that returned them to impotence. At a dark moment, the angelic fusion directed its attention to Vegeta's house, especially Bulma, who did not expect what was about to happen. Without a doubt, the enemy brutally killed her, completely eliminating her existence. When Vegeta arrived, the impact hit him deeply. He saw Bulma in front of his eyes, with his soul torn. That moment was enough to completely destroy him, but instead of surrendering, he exploded in a rage like never been seen before. At that moment, there was no trace of his weakness. A new power began to emerge within him, exceeding the limits of any transformation that he had achieved before. Vegeta began to increase his power to unprecedented levels, pointing to the enemy that had destroyed everything he appreciated. With fury, Vegeta said, "I will not forgive you. I will not let you live." The power that Vegeta had acquired now exceeded the limits of logic, and his anger became an immense destructive force. Vegeta charged with an uncontrollable fury,
launching a series of fast attacks at the enemy. These attacks were strong enough to leave a mark, but not in the magnitude that he expected compared to Goku's previous power. Vegeta's growing anger at seeing Bulma killed in front of him led him to break the limits that had chained him. Meanwhile, Goku was still lying on the ground, completely exhausted and unconscious, but suddenly he received a mental connection from the grandfather of the angels, who had been observing everything from inside the coffin. The ancestor said, "Goku, you have to get up. Time does not allow weakness now. There is an alternative plan that you must follow immediately. You must master all the transformations and complete the necessary colors to achieve the transformation of the rainbow. But to achieve it, you must merge with Vegeta while he can still fight. If Vegeta dies, his defeat will be inevitable." The ancestor continued saying, "You must ignore all the emotions now. The villain has caused great destruction and the loss of many lives, but you must remain calm. Controlling your emotions is the key to your victory. Focus only on the fusion. Do not let the pain or anger tie you." Goku deeply felt the words of the ancestor and found the magical Potara in his pocket, which represented the last hope. Those Potara were the result of the subtle effects that the ancestor of the angels had applied to Goku to give him a chance to achieve the transformation of the rainbow. When Goku arrived on Earth at an incredible speed, his eyes were focused on Vegeta, who was on the verge of death. His body was covered in blood, and he was in a state almost unconscious after failing to defeat the villain. Goku felt a bitter sadness in his heart when he saw his friend in that situation. Goku said, running towards Vegeta, "Vegeta, you have to resist. There is hope. You just have to take the Potara and use them immediately. It is our only opportunity now." Vegeta looked at Goku, almost unconscious, and then he whispered weakly, "How? How can I use this?" Goku said with determination, "There is no time to talk now. You have to concentrate. This is our last opportunity. Use it quickly and the fusion will be achieved." At first, Vegeta felt some doubt. Pride and arrogance boiled in his heart. He did not want to seem weak,
and believed that merging with Goku decreased his value as the Prince of Warriors. But Goku, who had had similar experiences, looked at him and gently explained to him, "Vegeta, pride does not matter now. We need to work together for all. This is not the time to be weak, but to make the right decision." After a few moments of silence, Vegeta followed Goku's words and took the Potara, beginning to use them. However, he felt bitterness inside for giving up his pride. However, in the depths of his heart, he knew that this was the only way to victory. During the beginning of the fusion, an immense energy began to flow between them, spinning around him in flashes of light, while both began to join gradually. Soon his shape changed to a new, elegant, and devastating. Vegeta appeared with an incredible power and an imposing appearance, evident in each part of his body. His body shone and emanated impressive energy, with his hair transforming into a new color that reflected a completely new power. The villain looked at them with his eyes wide open, surprised, and said, "Is this all they have?" Vegeta replied in a calm but firm voice, "Your time is over. You still have not understood what we can do together. The only thing left for you now is the end." The villain replied with a malicious smile, "Do you think you can defeat me? This will be a surprise for you." The battle began between the fusion of good, Vegeta, and the fusion of evil in a fierce confrontation on Earth and space. The attacks accelerated at an incredible speed, making the Earth tremble with each blow, and the skies crumbled under the impact of the colossal force. Vegeta, who had fused at that moment, was in a good position since his power had unified, and he directed his attacks with a surprising speed and precision. The unity of the partial forces of the rainbow was granting him new transformations that made him more capable of resisting the blows of the villain, who counteracted each attack with the same force. Vegeta said while planning his next attack, "This moment will be decisive. I must achieve the final transformations. There is no room for failure." While the battle continued, both began to acquire unprecedented power, which prompted them to develop new forms and broader powers. These transformations exhausted their energy enormously, but they were getting closer and closer to activating new forms that would be more powerful. Vegeta tried to control this newly acquired power, while the villain had difficulties staying up to date with the changes in the battle. On the other hand, the priest, who observed from afar, was worried about Goku and Vegeta's progress. It seemed to him that Goku's plan and the success of his fusion were giving them the opportunity to achieve victory, something that he had not anticipated. Enraged, the priest decided to intervene with more force, and he said to himself, "I cannot allow them to overcome me. I must stop this now. I will control them in another way." While the priest observed the development of the battle, he began to notice weakness in his children, which made Vegeta dominate even more. He remained firm, achieving new forms that defied the combat. Each transformation increased his power, while the villain began to show signs of fatigue and weakness. Vegeta, breathing with difficulty, said, "We are close to the end. Now we have to achieve the final transformation." At that moment, the priest decided to execute his final plan. His idea was to launch a massive and devastating explosion with the purpose of completely destroying planet Earth. At first, he only wanted to torture the population, but now he had decided to completely destroy the Earth to quickly end the battle and get rid of Vegeta, who had become a real threat. The priest, giving orders to his children, said, "Destroy everything. Destroy planet Earth now." The priest's children began to charge their energy to the maximum of their power and launched a colossal attack on Earth. The energy of their attack was so overwhelming that the sky was filled with a dazzling light. But Vegeta, feeling the imminent attack, decided to face it with all his strength. He remained firm, with his eyes full of determination, raising his hands to try to block the attack. The huge explosion launched by the priest's children was gradually destroying the Earth, but Vegeta, despite being exhausted, resisted the attack. However, when the explosion reached an almost unbearable point, the unexpected happened. Goku and Vegeta's fusion suddenly broke due to the overwhelming force they had suffered, and both fell to the ground, each in a distant corner, completely unconscious. While the villain was moving away from the battlefield, disappointed, he said,
"I have wasted my time with you, Goku, and now it is time for the real reward." He decided to go to Goku's house, the only place that he had not destroyed, to turn it into the stage where Goku would pay the highest price. The villain arrived at the house, where Goku's wife was alone, since Goten and Gohan had lost consciousness, and broke into the house, grabbed her, and began to torture her in front of Goku's eyes, who was unable to defend himself. With a broken heart, in an unexpected turn, the villain killed his wife, which made Goku scream in pain and rage. At that moment, Goku's emotions mixed in a way that he had never experienced before. The energy of the rainbow responded to him as never before, as if his fury and his sadness had broken all the barriers. He began to transform, and suddenly his energy shone in an immeasurable way, which made the villain retreat with fear. The priest, observing from a distance with a growing feeling of anxiety, said, "My end has come. Now Goku will decide my destiny." His expression fluctuated between fear and anger, and he felt that his end was coming.